Hi, this is Ronnie. I want to make make you another video today. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Here's something that I thought was really good the other day that I listened to and I thought I'd share with you. I was listening to an old interview. When I say old, not that old, just probably 5 years ago or something, 4 years ago. An interview with Doug Graham. If you don't know who Doug Graham is, he's a guy that wrote a book on the raw food diet called the 80-10-10 diet. It's a really worthwhile book to read. And he's an expert in the field, really, of health and raw veganism. So in his interview, someone said, "Have you got any proof that what you're saying is what you've written in 80-10-10 and what you talk about when you talk about nutrition? Have you got any proof that any of this is what's your proof? What's your proof?" And he said, "Well, I I'd never really I never really knew this, but he said, well, a lot of the information I use comes from textbooks rather than from studies." He said, "A study is, a one-off piece of information or one-off exercise, whereas a textbook, the information in the textbook comes from hundreds and hundreds of studies that have went before and doesn't get printed until it's been verified time and time and time again through uh, through studying it over and over and over, and it being verified over and over and over." So he said, "I use textbook information, and he's got references of that." And I thought that was really fascinating because you see so many people. I never knew that idea of the difference between textbook information and studies, because a lot of people quote studies, but it seems like not a lot of people have checked the textbooks. And I think what Doug's specifically referring to, not just the textbooks on human nutrition and sports performance, which I think are a bit different. I think that's a problem with textbooks, is they don't, from one subject to another, they don't necessarily correlate in the same way. But um, especially the stuff about cooking food, or the chemical stuff about cooking food. When you cook food, we all know this because it's in the textbooks. When you cook food, you damage it, you reduce nutrients, you reduce your nutrition in food. Um, and 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 that's one of the main basic points of the raw food diet. You never improve food by cooking it. You make it more easy to digest things that were not digestible, which is really unusual because I really think of your body as being within this body that's in design terms is probably many millions of years old in terms of how it all fits together. Maybe tens of millions, I don't know. There are features in it that protect you from many different things that happen automatically that you don't even know are there until you're put under stress. But one of those things is your own physical limitations of what you can and can't eat. And we're basically saying with cooking our food that we want to just circumvent our body's own defense mechanism against putting the incorrect food into our system. And that's what we do with cooking. And we had to do that because we didn't have any other food source when we moved around. But it's weird that it's weird how something that seems so obvious, that thought, that idea, has been lost and isn't really in the textbooks and so on. Just the basic idea that, of course, a raw food diet is better for us and so on. One thing I want to say is something that isn't in the textbooks is the concept that cooking made us human, which is something that people bring up. That's not in the textbooks. That's not I'm just going to say it again, that's not in the textbooks. So people mention that and talk about Richard Wrangham's book and talk about someone else said it and another guy said it, but it's not in the textbooks because they're wrong for a start, but because it's not been proven at all. And it's certainly not proven the hypothesis that people cannot exist on a raw food diet is not right, and can be easily proven to not be right. And there's loads of people. Well, there's not. Maybe there's not millions of people, but there's plenty of people that have eaten a fruit diet for a long time. So anyway, that's some thoughts. And if you've got any textbooks of nutrition, you feel like sending them to me if you're not doing anything with them, then I'd quite like to read some of them. And I'd like to use textbook information as my kind of standard from now on. So if I go against a textbook, I need to say, okay, here's some stuff that I'm going to tell you that's not in the textbooks. But I'd need to be able to back that up and say, well, the reason it's not in the textbooks is because it's not been studied yet or whatever. But it's funny, I was reading the thing on human nutrition, and it did a textbook, a kind of basic textbook on human nutrition, and it said, you know, many people do vegetarian diets, and the reason for that is often health, and vegetarians tend to be healthier, and it just straight up said that in the in the textbooks. So this information isn't hidden from anyone. You know, it's definitely out there. We all have a responsibility to try and spread the message a little bit, I think, so that we can, you know, help improve the lives of other people. So anyway, textbook information. Let's look for textbook information, and if it doesn't stick up to that scrutiny, let's kick it to the curb, or let's lobby for it to get in the textbooks or whatever. Okay, have a good day everyone, and if you want to learn more about the raw food diet and learn more from people like Doug Graham, you can come to the UK Fruit Festival this year from the 2nd to the 6th of August. Quick advertisement for you. And you can go to our website fruitfest.co.uk and learn more about it. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.